The air in the arena was thick with anticipation, the kind that only all elite wrestling could conjure. The crowd in Mexico City roared as the lights dimmed and the Tron flickered to life with a grainy, almost cinematic image of Hangman Adam Page. His cowboy hat was tilted low, shadowing his eyes, but the intensity radiating from him was unmistakable. This wasn't the Hangman they'd known, the charming, reluctant hero who'd won the AEW World Championship years ago. This was a man unhinged, forged in the fires of betrayal and loss. The promo began with Adam standing in a dimly lit alley, the sound of distant sirens cutting through the silence. His voice, raw and deliberate, spoke in flawless Spanish, a nod to the passionate crowd. "They took everything from me," he growled, his words dripping with venom. "The Death Riders, they didn't just take my pride. They took my soul." The crowd gasped as a camera panned to reveal scars across his knuckles, a visual testament to the abduction storyline that had gripped AEW's audience for weeks. Backstage, in a cluttered office filled with old wrestling tapes and a flickering monitor, Jim Cornette sat with his podcast co-host, Brian Last. The Jim Cornette Experience was live, and the chat was buzzing. Cornette, known for his razor-sharp critiques, leaned into the microphone, his eyes glued to the screen. "Now, I've said it before, Page doesn't have the promo charisma to carry a main event," he began, referencing his past skepticism. "But this is something else." On the screen, Page's promo took a darker turn. He spoke of burning down everything Swerve Strickland had built, a callback to their brutal feud that had culminated in a house fire angle months earlier. "You think you broke me, Swerve?" Page's voice cracked, not with weakness, but with rage. "I'm not broken. I'm the fire now." The crowd erupted, chanting his name as the Tron faded to black, leaving only the sound of a match being struck. Cornette leaned back, his trademark scowl softening. "I'll be damned," he muttered. "This ain't the Adam Page who sounded pretentious 6 months ago. This is a man who's lived through hell and come out swinging." Brian nodded, typing furiously to keep up with the flood of fan comments. "They're saying it's his best promo ever," Brian read aloud. "Even the Mexican fans are losing it over his Spanish." The story wasn't just in the words Page spoke. It was in the layers of AEW storytelling. The Death Riders, led by Jon Moxley, had ambushed Page weeks earlier, leaving him bloodied and broken in a storyline that felt more like a crime drama than wrestling. The abduction angle had pushed Page to the edge, and this promo was his declaration of war. Fans on X were divided. Some called it a masterpiece. Others felt Page was losing the star power he'd built in 2019. Cornette, ever the historian, drew parallels to wrestling's golden era. "This is what Flair did in the 80s, he said, his voice rising with rare excitement. "You make it personal. You make the crowd feel your pain. Page ain't just cutting a promo. He's telling a story that makes you believe he'd burn the whole damn company down to get revenge." As the podcast continued, Cornette's tone shifted from critique to grudging respect. He still wasn't sold on AEW's overall product. His rants about their flipping nonsense were legendary, but this moment was different. "If Page keeps this up," he said, "he might just prove me wrong. And you know I hate being wrong." The chat exploded with laughing emojis and fans quoting his old jabs at Page's pretentious promos. In the ring later that night, Page's music hit, and the crowd's roar shook the arena. He didn't smile, didn't acknowledge the cheers. He marched to the ring with purpose, a steel chair in hand, ready to confront the Death Riders. The story was far from over, but one thing was clear. Adam Page had found his darkness, and AEW had found his fire.